Why? Why? Just pick one. Welcome to 2021, where we already can't have nice things. To be entirely fair, the winter 2021 anime lineup is absolutely stacked with great anime, including an anime that I'll get into later in the video that is just incredible. But there's always bound to be at least a few misses. You know, sometimes you hit just a couple of inches to the left of the target, and sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot and also realize that your gun was loaded with baked beans. Enter XArm, which is already shaping up to be the worst anime of 2021. And I sincerely wish that I was exaggerating, but unfortunately I am not. This adaptation of a decently successful manga has an interesting enough premise about cybercrime and androids, but red flags start to go up when you look at the people involved with this anime. Now don't get me wrong here, the voice cast is really solid and it sees a lot of familiar faces, so that's not one of the flaws that this anime has. The first thing you'll notice is that this is Studio Visual Flight's first ever anime. That's okay though, we all have to start somewhere, right? But hold on. It looks like this is director Yoshikatsu Kimura's first time working on an anime ever. Prior to this, his only work was on live-action films. A bit of digging turned up that no one involved in the production of this series has ever worked on an anime series before, not even the composer. So what do you get when you have a team of completely unqualified people working on an anime adaptation? You get this shit. Not only is this some of the worst CG animation I have ever seen, anime or otherwise, it is some of the most confusing implementation of CG animation. Typically, CG animation is used to cut costs on large scenes or just to fill in background characters. This is the exact opposite of that. Many of the minor background characters are done in traditional animation while the leads are done in this godforsaken excuse for CG. But that isn't even consistent because then you get instances like this. These two characters are introduced as a team, yet only one of them is done in CG. Like, why? You could just not do that. It was an option. You had the choice. You chose this. Why? Like, I could forgive it if the fight choreography was at least decent. Well, no, I couldn't, but I would be a little bit less offended by it. But it isn't. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And all of this contrasts with the voice acting, which again, is completely fine and filled with familiar voices. Some scenes don't even bother with animation in a traditional sense. Like this intro, which is basically just zooming over a low-res still image and applying some transparency effects here and there. The biggest tragedy of this debacle is that the story isn't awful. Like, it's not great, but a good adaptation could have at least been a 6 or 7 out of 10. Can you imagine being the mangaka for this series, being so excited that you're gonna get to see your baby on TV, and then this shit comes on? This show is an abomination, unloved by God, and my life is significantly worse for having seen it. But that's okay, because as I said at the start of the video, there are plenty of other great anime airing this season. We have continuations of some of the most popular series of recent years, like Attack on Titan and Reincarnated as a Slime, as well as some returning faces from several years back, like Log Horizon. And hidden amongst all of these high-profile shows, tucked away in a corner, is another show with some anime first-timers involved that is faring much better than XArm. With a story by screenwriter and anime newcomer Shinji Nojima, and directed by a first-time full series director, graduating from their typical role as an episode director, we have Wonder Egg Priority. To tell you anything about the plot of this show would be a massive disservice to its masterful storytelling. This is a first episode that sucked me in and had me hooked in a way that nothing has since the first episode of Made in Abyss. It gives you a glimpse of the story, then does an about-face to show you something else, then a full 180 to show you yet another facet of this plot, and each is more interesting than the last. The animation, handled by Cloverworks, is nothing short of fantastic, and the character designs are all very detailed and unique. It evoked a wide array of emotions in me, from things that I felt watching Anohana to things I felt watching Madoka Magica. And this is only episode 1. Now, every show is capable of jumping the shark, and we see it happen every season, so it's totally possible that the rest of the show will be downhill from here. But if it can keep up the pacing, the structure, and the emotion of this first episode, this will be a strong contender for Best Anime of 2021. Again, I feel bad that I can't say more about this episode because it's just so incredibly deep, but I feel that spoiling even the slightest bit of it would make me a terrible human being. Maybe we can go into a deep dive on this episode in a future video. Just let me know down in the comments if that's something you're interested in. And if you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to keep up on the discussions for Wonder Egg Priority and other anime that are airing this season, you can join my Discord through the link down in the description and get in on the discussions that are going on over there. Also down in the description, you can find the link to the merch store where you can pick up your own Please Isekai Me shirt. Until next time, I have been Spoons, and thank you for watching.